Markets, equity markets, where equities here dropped on the first day of the week. Shares in Shanghai declined over 1%, while Shenzhen tumbled more than 2%. We have more details on that later on in the show. In the meantime, here's how regional markets performed and how Wall Street closed overnight. China's one-year loan prime rate dropped on Monday. The National Interbank Funding Center says the one-year LPR was lowered by 5 basis points to 3.8% from 3.85% earlier, the first such change in over 19 months. The over 5-year loan prime rate, which many lenders base their mortgage rates on, remained unchanged from the previous reading of 4.65%. For more discussion on the reduction in the one-year loan prime rate in China's economy, we're joined by Liu Zhiqin, a senior research fellow at Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies at Renmin University of China. Thank you for joining us. China's central bank has lowered one-year loan prime rate after 19 months. What are the key objectives from this exercise, and why has it taken such a long time for the revision?
I believe that such a policy has been conducted according to the actual situation and the need of the economic development in China. I should say that this new policy is a compromise policy. It's a asymmetrical policy for the moment, because we are facing new challenges and new difficulties in the time to come. As we know that the central bank has already intensively worked out new policies in the first half year and also the rest of this year, in order to meet and to solve all these difficulties and challenges we can be facing in the next months and the next year. Because we should find a compromise way in the aggressive or conservative ways how to deal with the monetary policy. I should say the target and also the reason for such a policy is to make our economic development more stable. This is the key focus of our central government. And the second is also to keep a well balance between real economy and also other industrial sections. And the third, to support the real economy, especially the middle-sized and small-sized companies, to get the easy financing in the time to come. And of course, the next target is also to stabilize, to build up a good foundation for the next year economy. This is a well-planned, I think, the policy that in order to meet all these unexpected and expected challenges.
How can the infusion of more liquidity support China's real economy?
I think this new policy has two features to be noticed. One is that it has only lowered down the one-year LPR. And the other major point is the so-called MLF, that is the middle-term loan facilities, it still remain the change. Why it's focusing to support this short-term loan facilities in order to meet the demands of the real economy. We know that the middle and the small-sized companies are eager and preferable to have short-term loan, not the long-term loan. This belongs to another industry effect. For instance, the real estate, they need middle-term and long-term facilities. But for real economy, they really need a short-term loan. So this is the major point that we should understand. That's why they can get a better financing conditions, especially to lower down the cost for financing. As we know, for this real economy, they have difficulty to get lower cost facilities, and also they need a long time for the evaluation. That's why they could overcome all these difficulties they had before.
China's monetary policy has been relatively prudent compared to the US and to a number of European countries. How would that influence exchange rates of the Chinese RMB against major global currencies and also international money flow?
I believe that the international money flow will be decided by the trading tendencies. If which country has better trading conditions, I think the international money flow will come to this destination. China is one of the best destinations for foreign investors, especially for the FDI. Also, in the past 2 years, that is still increasing tremendously. And secondly, we know that China's monetary policy remains three features. One is that it's very stable. Second is very prudent and cautious. And the third is very important. It's precisely that targeted to the most industry and sections that who are needed the monetary policy. So this is why that China's monetary policy is welcomed by the world market, especially by international capital market. They have confidence to see that China's economy will be developing in a very smooth, very healthy, and sustainable way. So we hope that our monetary policy will be remaining as the same way as today.
Great. That's Mr. Liu Zhiqin, a senior research fellow at the Chongyang